What if I told you that you do not have to work harder to make more money? Because I just found all these people making thousands of dollars in passive income by posting books on Amazon. And what's crazy is a lot of these books barely have anything inside. You don't have to build your own audience, and it's totally free because who wants to spend more money if we don't have to? This whole thing is possible because of something called Amazon KDP. With Amazon KDP, we create very simple books. I'm talking journals that are just lines inside, sketchbooks that have nothing inside. That was my first book that I sold and got that sale in a day. Or books to help people log their passwords. These are very simple, but once you create it in a few minutes, you can upload it to Amazon. The customer buys it. Once Amazon gets that order, it will print the book, ship it out to the customer, and handle all the customer service. So if you're like, I'm ready to hustle, I just need something simple, easy, and straightforward to do, then I think this is the side hustle for you. And to make that even easier, we are gonna just be using one affordable software called Bookbolt. Now, I've been recommending Bookbolt for years because it really is the best software for Amazon KDP, and you get a 3-day free trial. So it's a no-brainer for me. For the pricing, Bookbolt is very affordable. Their newbie plan is going to start off at $9.99 per month, and they also have a pro plan for $19.99. Now, the main difference between them is that with the pro plan, you can get the puzzle creation software. So if you are going to want to create these puzzle books or maze books or crossword puzzles, then the pro plan is better for you. And the yearly, of course, is going to be a lower monthly price. Now, my suggestion is to just start with a 3-day free trial. You can create unlimited books in this amount of time just to get a feel of if this is even something that you want to do. And if you do feel like it is and you want to keep going, then I do have a 20% off lifetime discount code that I will link in the description for that. But just start with the free trial. And then when you log into your Bookbolt account, you're going to come to this screen right here. Now, Bookbolt has a lot of different features because it's optimized for newbies. So you see in this tutorials page, you get a full breakdown of everything so that you're never confused and that you know what to do. You even have this section up here for live calls. Every single week, you can get on a call with a Bookbolt staff member. These are live calls, and you can have all of your questions answered so that you really are set up for success. Once we're inside of Bookbolt, I want to show you how you can find the best profitable niches possible so that from the gate, you're ahead of 50% of other sellers who are just choosing random ones that they think will sell. No, we are using the data that Bookbolt gives us. To do that, do you see this section over here? Make sure it's on the research section. We'll do the create section later. And then we want to go to the cloud. Now, the cloud uses live data from Amazon. So if we just want to know what is selling best, because that is exactly what I want to sell, we are going to use the cloud. Now, in the cloud, we can search by the top bestsellers. So I want to see the top 200 books in, let's say, the journal category. You can choose any category. And then here you'll see something called the BSR range. This is the bestseller ranking. The lower the number, the better it's selling, with 1 being the absolute number 1. So I want to say, okay, what's the top around 300,000? And then we can sort by the price range. So I don't want to be competing with like the lowest cost books. So I'm going to say something that is $9 until maybe 15 or 20. Let's go with 18 actually, just so I can see. Don't enter a keyword here, you're fine. Let's just search because we just want to have an idea of what we can start selling based on what is already selling. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. And we have these, Mom, I Want to Hear Your Story. These are really popular journals. Dad, I Want to Hear Your Story. A Guide to Puberty, Couples Workbooks. Grandma, I Want to Hear Your Story. We have something for manifesting things, grief letter. So when I get an idea of what is selling, there's a few things that I can do. I can right click this and open it in a new tab. When I open it in a new tab, I can just go through here and press on read sample. When I go to read sample, it's actually going to show me the inside of the book so I can see what I might want to add in here. So we have things like what's your birthday, what's your full name, and how old were you when your parents were, all this stuff we can use. What I also would like to do is go to the comment section. There's so many. We can see in the comment sections any type of pictures that they're adding. We can also see what their commentary is. So we can see in this book, they're saying it covers everything from family life to personal values, life lessons, everything in between. If there is any kind of information that we can get, like, okay, I need a mix of deep reflection and lighthearted memories, we can include that in our book. But what I also like to do is go to the really low one. So let's go to the 2 stars. And from the 2 stars, we can see, okay, I was looking for a fun bonding activity. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't memorable. Some of the questions felt a little forced. A few made us laugh and others had us side-eyeing like, really? That's what you're bringing to the table? So we can use these negative reviews to see what we don't want to include and how we can be better. A lot of people are like, it's so saturated. Guys, there is always room for improvement. And these negative reviews give us that insight. So this one said, I didn't like how it asked questions about what song was the top of the charts when he was born. He was just born. So this is all really useful and valuable information. To be honest, I find the most value in like the 3-star reviews. Just click on 3-star because it's a bit more balanced. Sometimes the 5 stars are like too much and the 1 stars, it's like, dude, what are you talking about? But the 3 stars is very balanced. We can go back here to the cloud and say I like this book. I'm just gonna press on the heart button, which is going to add it to my favorites. You can see that I actually have categories in here. So I have one for ideas. I'm gonna click on ideas and then press submit. And now that's gonna be in my favorite folders to come back to for later. In this part, it gives us an idea of how this book is selling. So the estimated monthly sales is at 717. Now these books, it's priced at $11, but these people are not getting the full $11. They only get a percentage of that. So they're probably getting around $2, $3, $4, most of them on average. So you can multiply that by 717 and you can see that they're making thousands of dollars per month. I mean, they're pretty high ranked. You can see that they're 254 for the BSR. And remember, the closer you are to 1, the better you are selling. What we can also do to spy on these people is hit this stopwatch icon right here. When you hit that, we'll get some information about the price history and how that affected them. So you can see that in December, they were pricing it at $11.95, and then they dropped it down to $8.95, and then they raised it back up. Once we have an idea that we like for example, these Dad, I want to hear your story. Mom, I want to hear your story. What I want you to do next is go over to this products tab. Just click on that. And then when we go to the product tab, we can get information about our specific product and keyword. So I want to just type in, for example, mom. And then we can go to journal. So this is going to give us very specific information about mom journals. We can do this for any category and any keyword. So we can say mom coloring book or mom activity book or whatever it is. And then let's press on search. Now for this, we have a lot of information. We can see that the lowest price people are selling their mom journals for is $5 and the highest price is $27.50. But the average price is $11.33. We can see all of these keywords here. So we have mom, journal, we have memories, we have letters, questions, moments. This is giving us ideas about what we might want to include for our journal. And then of course, we can see how all of these are selling. So when I am looking at this, what I want to see is how many reviews does that have? That means that, it's more popular the more reviews that it has. How many estimated sales is it making per month? So this one is 195. And how long has it been published? So 2021. If I see that something is new, like it's been published in 2025, but it's already hitting, 200 estimated sales, then I'm gonna be like, okay, that is a good sign for me. So we see that this one wasn't even published a year ago. It was 2024, September 23rd, but it already has 219 estimated sales. So what I can do is open this in a new tab, and then I can do that same process of looking inside, looking at the reviews, and seeing what are they offering in their book that I could do better. So in the reviews, we have some pictures of the inside, and we see, okay, we have list of emotions. We have, this is the way that they're formatting the inside of the book. Now I will show you guys how to do all of this, but that's pretty much the process that you're going to go until you find a niche that you really like. I think for our niche, I want to do these kind of mom, what's your story type of journals, just because I think that that's interesting, but you could use this process to do whatever. There's even this one that's like, you're a good mom, positive affirmations for moms. So if you're in a position where you're a mom, you're a dad, you're a grandma, you're a whatever, this might be something that you want to create. But to be honest, this kind of dear mom, wanna hear your story, it's very overused. So I would try to find a variation of that. So this one, instead of I want to hear your story, said, what's your story? This one said, right from the heart, tough conversations to have. If you don't know what other variations you might want to create on a very popular keyword or a very popular topic, I would just go to ChatGPT and I would say, give me some variations that keeps Dear Mom, but instead of Dear Mom, tell me your story, I wanted to be something else. So I liked that it said, Dear Mom, what I've always wanted to ask you. I think that's actually a really good one. Or Dear Mom, the things I want to remember. I think that's good. So this is how you can capitalize on a viral niche, but not get into the arena of being oversaturated because you're still doing things different. Dear Mom, things that I've always wondered, what I've never said out loud. This is how we are going to be different. Now, a winning niche will get us started, but it won't get us far unless we know how to create the best book. This is because we are going up against a lot of heavy hitters and we want to make sure that we can compete. But first, let me tell you, there is no such thing as oversaturation. Oversaturation is a myth. This is because 90% of people are doing the bare minimum just because they heard that this is a quick and easy side hustle. So if you do the work to actually make your product quality and better than other people, you're not competing against many people. You're already in the top 10%. So let me show you how to design your book so that you can actually stand out. So we're gonna go to this tab that I showed you guys earlier, and instead of research, we're gonna hit create. When we hit create, we can then hit Bookbolt Studio, and this will take us to the studio to actually work. Now in Bookbolt Studio, everything is drag and drop. This is actually a journal that I did before, so you can see that it opens up that project, but we want to create a new project. So we are going to go to the top left-hand corner, click on project, click on new project. Now a new project, we can just have it paperback. You can do hardcover, which is fine. It's just going to be a bit more expensive. We'll give our project a name. So I can say Mommy Journal, and I might also want to give it a date as well. So I can say the 28th of August, just so that I can be a bit organized, but you can have your own system. If you want to put number 1 or whatever, you can do that. Now for the size, 6x9 for a journal is good. If you're doing like a coloring page, you might want to do, 8.5 by 11. But 6.9, it's going to have a good balance of, the revenue that you're getting and the cost of production. So just click on 6x9. Black and white interior with white paper is totally fine. Make sure that bleed is selected. This just means that, we can use all the space available inside. Now for the page count, I would see what these other people are doing first, and you can see the page length by going here. It's 110 pages. So for our book, I'm just going to make it 110 pages, and then let's click on create project. When you create the project, you'll see that there's all of these lines. Now, no need to be confused. This is just showing you where you shouldn't put things. So in this red area, this is the danger zone. You don't want to put anything there. You want to have everything in these white spaces. But we want to get rid of that just so that we can design it and not have that distracting us. So let's click on this little checkerboard icon here and then just press hide cover template and okay. If you wanted to have it visible but maybe just more opaque so that you can know, you can change that there. But I'm going to press hide and then I'll press okay. Now for the cover, we have two sections and I just put these little shapes here so that you can know what I'm talking about. So on the right hand section, which is over here, this is the front cover. And then on the left section where this blue circle is, this is the back cover. So just remember that when you're making things. I will delete that now. When you are creating the cover, I don't want you to just create whatever comes to your head. I want you to work based on an example from other books. So here I just typed in what we're going to be talking about. We can see these covers. Look at the ones that are selling the best. You can even sort it right here by bestsellers as well. And then we want to find a way to stand out here. And one thing I just saw that's good for my bilingual people, or even my people who just know how to use the Translate app, is you could do this in other languages as well. So this says, Mama, yo quiero escuchar tu historia. Ooh, okay. So I would just choose the design that's kind of popular. So I can see that these floral ones are very good. You even have aunt, I want to hear your story. Whatever type of family member. It could even be, bestie. It could be grandma. It could be teacher. It could be whatever it is, But floral, I see, is very popular. So I am going to want to, make something similar but different. Let's start with the simplest part first, which is going to be adding our text. So this T with the square around it is going to be for text. So for this, I'm just going to say, Mom, I've always wanted to know. This way, we're being a little bit different. And you can see this green line in the middle. This just helps you to make sure everything is centered. So when we see that there's the two lines, vertical and horizontal, we know that it's directly in the middle. But we don't want this kind of ugly font. So we're going to highlight the text, go up here to where it says Open Sans, which is the default, and then we're going to find some text that we like. Now, all this text you can use is copyright free. Don't worry about it. So maybe this one, Alex Brush, looks nice. Oh, that is nice. I like that. Let's make it a little bit bigger. If you find a font that you like, just press the heart in case you want to keep on using it, and it will be in your liked fonts for next time. You could even upload your own fonts if you want to. So this is what I came up with. I like this font because this is what I see that other people are using. So I'll do that same type of design. Now I suggest to, use your own colors, but if you do like a certain color that you see, you can get some color picker web extensions, say pick color from page. And then when you go here, it will actually choose that exact color. Then we can go to the Bookbolt Studio, click on this black box, and then enter, just copy and paste that color code there. You see that? Now we have this exact color in our page. Now, how do we get these really cool shapes that we see people using? Well, that's super easy. In Bookbolt, we can go to this Shapes tab. You see the circle, the star, everything like that, and we have a bunch of shapes that we can use. I'm going to click on shape 9, and then we can use the circles on the top and the side to adjust the actual size of things. And there you go. Now we have this thing down here, and you can experiment with the shape so you can get something that's more like this. So we've added all the text, and it's pretty simple compared to, this, but we need to make it look good, which is why we need to add some graphics and some images and stuff like this, so it's not just boring text. The first thing I want to do is get this kind of paper texture. The way we can do that is by clicking on this images button right here, and then this gets us access to Pixabay and Unsplash. Now in Pixabay and Unsplash, this is totally free to use in your content, so I just want to type in paper texture. Now you can see we have all of these paper textures that we can use and be able to compete, but of course we don't want an exact copy. We want something that looks better. Once we find what we like, we can click it and add it to our book. But the thing is, it's going to come in the very front. So that's no problem. We can just right click. It will bring up this menu and click on send to back. See, now it is like this. If we want to adjust anything, just click on the picture, click on effects, and we can do things like adjust it. We can remove certain colors. We can make it black and white. We can make it sepia, anything that we want. See, it's not exactly the same, but it's similar enough. And for the back cover, we do want a little something there. So I'm going to click on this back color. I'm going to click on this white square up here because it is white and I want to change that. I want to change it to be a similar color to the front. So do you see where it says pipette here? It just means when we click on that we can drag it over the color that we want. And you see how the colors are changing based on where I'm dragging it. I'm just going to click on this and it will make my back cover a similar color. So now it's just really cohesive. But we want to add our flowers. So let's go back to the picture tab. And then in Pixabay, we're just going to say flowers. Now for the flowers, we don't want anything that has a background because it's not going to really look good when we add it. So I'll go here to any color and I will click on transparent and then click on search. When we do that, we have all of these ones that don't have a background that we can add to our cover. If we want to see any of these closer up, just click on preview and then we have a bigger image. So let's go ahead and press that. It'll import into our page and then we can play around with where to put these flowers until we get something that is similar to this. See, they just put a bunch of flowers around the edge. We can also do the same with these kind of like watercolor that they put there. I just typed in watercolor and you can see we have these watercolor splotches that we can add to our cover. Just mix and match and kind of, use your creative energy to get something that looks really nice. If you want to make this a bit more opaque, you see how in here it's like very transparent? Just click on this checkerboard icon and we can change the opacity. If this is in the way, just move it. It's no problem to do that. In case it's covering something, we can make it a bit more opaque. A really nice hack that I have, if you don't want to, individually place all these flowers, it's just to type in border to Pixabay, and you can see that there's all these borders that you can add. That's what I did because I wanted to have this done as quick as possible. So from that, this is the cover that I got, and you can't tell me that does not look good. Like this is, the original I was going off of, and this one, like that just looks so good. And then I added on the back just some text that say, 100 prompts for a deeper connection. I put a cute little heart. Now the outside cover is done, but we need the inside too. Now for the inside, what we can do is we can go to this puzzle icon right here. Now in this puzzle icon, it is the interior templates. For the interior, you have a bunch of different options. Remember what I told you about the Pro plan? You do get access to these puzzles and all these really cool things to add, but we don't really need any of that. All we need is these journal lines. So what I'm gonna do is I can click on journal and we can see what type we want. Do we want, one with college ruled lines, narrow lines, wide ones? I'm gonna do wide ones because I feel like that just makes sense. I'm gonna click on that and then I will click on select all and you see all the pages are highlighted. I don't want the template on all of them. I'm going to deselect the cover, page 1 and page 2. So our book will start on page 3, continue to options. We can leave most of this the same. We don't have to touch it. And if we want to preview it, we can press the preview button. In the preview button, we can see exactly how it's going to look. To be honest, that is totally fine for me. So let's click on submit. Once we press submit, we can go to our pages and all of our pages for our journal are completely there. They're inside these green lines, which is what we want it to be. We don't want it to be outside these green lines at all. Now for these other pages, page 1 and page 2, if we look inside some of these other books, we can see that, they added the title page, any kind of copyright about this book. Like they added a bunch of things, a quote, this book belongs to. What I like to do is this book belongs to. I always feel like that's good. So we're going to just add that page here. So we can add that page by adding some text, this book belongs to. Okay, that's how we can do that. And then for the second page, you might want to add a quote or some instructions or anything that's just going to help your reader a bit more. And then when we get to the actual pages, we don't want to leave this blank. We do want to add a journal prompt or something like that. So we can add our heading, and then we can say something like, what is your earliest memory? If you need help creating these prompts, just use ChatGPT and be like, give me a list of the best prompts. So we can put that there. Let's change our text to Allura and look at that. And then they can add whatever they want to write. After we add all of our prompts, our book is done. So we can see that we have our cover page completely finished here. We have a page that is like, this book belongs to. I added another page that is a quote. A mother's love is like an ocean, vast and unchanging. And then we have our actual journal pages. That's how easy it is to create a book, guys. Like, it's not that hard. I mean, of course, you do have to make sure that it is better than other people's. And if you do your research correctly, you'll know, okay, this is what I need to do. But the actual creation part isn't hard. You don't need to hire somebody. You don't need to do all of these things. You just need to set aside some time, right? So when we want to download this book, we're going to click on download and then just use the first one, CMYK. Now that we have our book designed, this is where a lot of people just kind of lose everything. It's time to publish to Amazon KDP and be live, but what most people will do is think that the actual uploading part is easy, when really it's the most crucial part of all. See, with Amazon, there are certain keywords that work better than others, so you need to make sure that you write the title, the description, the keywords just right, so your book has a chance to even get seen, because we don't want to do all this work for no reason. When you go to sign up for Amazon KDP, just use this page and then click on Join KDP. When you're inside of KDP, it'll look something like this, and to upload our book, we just need to click on Create New Title or Series. From here, we're going to click on Create Paperback, and then you will see that it's time to fill out our book title, our subtitle, stuff like this. For the book title, we're just going to name it what the title of our book is. So ours was Mom, I've Always Wanted to Know. And then for the subtitle, we are going to put keywords that are similar to, what people are searching. They might be searching something like Dear Mom Journal or a mother's guided journal or keepsake journal. So add those things in the subtitle section. We can also use Bookbolt to research our keywords for us. So here you see that we have the keywords. If we press on search, we'll end up in this keyword search bar. So we can say Dear Mom, and then here we can see what is trending on Amazon, what is trending on Google. We can also see, these frequent keywords down here. We can use all of that to get some ideas of what to enter for our subtitle. What I do want you to do is make sure it sounds as human as possible. Don't just keyword stuff and just put all the keywords here, because it's gonna look a bit spammy. So try to make it sound normal. Like, this guided keepsake journal is the perfect gift for moms. If you want to add this to a series, you can, but you don't have to. If you have like a bunch of different Dear Mom, Dear Dad, Dear whoever, you can put it in a series. And then for your author name, you can use a pen name if you don't want to have your name, or what I've seen some people do is put their initials and then publishing. I've seen people put like the niche that they're in. They could put a nickname for themselves. So if somebody calls you like, Nona, something like this, you could put, Nona's Publishing or something, right? Or you could just put your name. For the contributors, you don't need to put anything there. And then for the description, what I would do is I would look at some of the most popular descriptions. I would see how they are formatted. So this is what it looks like. I would just format it similar to this. Even if you want to put this in ChatGPT and be like, hey, can you customize this for my own? You can do that. For the description, I just want you to make sure that it includes all the things that your customer might want to know. Just give them as much information, because just as you would want to know everything that the book contains before buying it, your customer would also. So for publishing rights, just click on I own the copyright, because this is your work. For your primary audience, no, you don't have any explicit images. I would hope not, this is a mom journal, right? So let's click on no. We don't really need to click on the reading age, it's optional. For a primary marketplace, just keep that at amazon.com. And then for choose categories, you can choose what category this book is, or we can go here to Bookbolt. We see KDP categories. From here, you can just type in what your book is about. For example, Dear Mom Journal, and it will tell you which category to put. So for example, it's saying we should choose self-help, journal writing. So that's exactly what we're going to choose in KDP. Make sure that these are completely relevant or else you will get kind of dinged by Amazon. And then click, does your book classify as a low content book? Our book, I would say this journal is low content because we didn't add too much, but you can add more, and the more that you add, the less will be low content. It'll be like a medium content. So if you add a lot of prompts and a lot of activities and stuff like that, then you don't have to click this low content book. For the keywords, we're just going to go with the keywords that we found here. What we could also do for the keywords is we can go to Amazon and type our keyword into the search bar, and then you see how all these other ones come up. Dear Mom from Us, right? Dear Mom Journal Hardback. I mean, yours is not a hardback, but you can use any words here to also get more keywords. Just make sure to fill in all 7 because this is how you're going to get found without having to, do a bunch of ads or anything like that, just using Amazon's inbuilt feature. And then for the release date, we just want to say release my book for sale now. And it's going to take up to 72 hours for it to be approved and go live, but just click on save and continue. From save and continue, make sure that these print options are the same as what you chose in Bookbolt. So we chose black and white interior. We chose 6x9. For our book, we said that we did want bleed. So we click on bleed. Then we can do either a matte or a glossy cover. It's really up to you. I'm just going to choose glossy. Now, this is the important part. We want to upload our manuscript, which is the interior pages. So we can click on upload manuscript, and where it says paperback interior, we're just going to click on that and then click on open. For the book cover, click on upload a cover that you already have, and then let's upload our cover. So we can see the paperback cover is right there. We can open that. If you used AI generated content for your images or whatever, you want to make sure to disclose that, but we didn't. So we're going to click on no. Then we're going to click on this launch previewer to make sure that there's no problems with our book. So what we're looking at now is exactly how it's going to be printed. So we have this book belongs to page, we have the one with the quote over here, and then on the 3rd page starts our actual prompts. It looks good to me, so I'm going to press approve. And then after we finish that, just click on save and continue, and it's going to take us to the pricing. Now for the pricing, we saw that the average price was about $11.60, I believe. I'm going to put mine at like maybe $10.99 because that way I'm a little bit lower than the competition, but I'm still getting, as you see here, a $4 royalty for everything that I sell. So if I sell 10 copies, I get $40. If I sell 100 copies, I get an extra $400 per month, right? And this is in line with all the other books that I have. So if I have 3 books that are selling $400 a month, right, that is $1,200. And that, of course, keeps going up and up. So I like to have it above $10 just so I can get some good royalties there. If you want to get a printed preview of your book before it goes live, you can request proof. I don't care about that, so I'm just going to click on publish your paperback book. Guys, it takes about 72 hours for your book to get approved, but once it does, it'll be live on Amazon for anybody to buy, and you can start making money from this side hustle. You see how quick we were able to create that? I want to challenge you to create 5 books doing this method and do it within the next week. You can do 1 per day, and you got 2 free days to do whatever you want. You do have that 3-day free trial of Bookbolt, so you could even get your 5 books done within that time. But if you want to create more than that, then I suggest signing up to their paid plan, and I have a 20% off lifetime discount code for you to make it even more of a no-brainer. This is because with Bookbolt, you get so many features. You get the keyword research, you get live weekly calls that you can actually ask them questions and learn more and have guidance for you. People charge thousands of dollars for that actually, but with Bookbolt membership, you get it for free. You can create endless designs and do endless research until you get to the point where you are making your dream income, because it is possible. To sign up for that, I will put the link in my description below, and let me know below, what is your goal? How many books are you going to create this week? And if you have any more questions, I have an entire Amazon KDP playlist where I go even more in depth in this side hustle, because it really is so simple, easy, and definitely possible to make money from. I will link those on the screen here, and I will see you guys in one of those videos.